Well, good afternoon, and welcome to another segment of the Avatar Face to Face, which is our ongoing programming as part of the Avatar Foundation and our media center, where we produce weekly shows dealing with the arts and culture of not only Westchester County, but the metro area, but areas above and beyond those boundaries. And we're very blessed today as we've been speaking from week to week about the different forms of guests that we've had in our relationship and development of a project called the Carib Gold. We have collaborated and partnered with an organization, the Afro-We Culture Organization, headed by Miss Antoinette Pitkins, and we've come together to produce an event, a series of events that really kind of look at the celebration of Caribbean culture. And we have gone forward with our program to develop Carib Gold, a specific program directed to the Caribbean arts and culture. And we are viewing that process really kind of through the eyes of Carnival, to kind of look at all of the flavors that come out of the Caribbean communities, both on a indigenous level and from I guess a local area from here in New York. So we're very blessed today to have as our guests two distinguished gentlemen as part of our ongoing segment. And I want to introduce Mr. Winston Small, and we want to introduce Mr. Patterson, Horace Patterson, all right, who are the principals in Caribbean Network, an internet television network, and they have a very interesting story to tell and share with us today as we speak about this Carib Gold and what it is that they're doing in integration with what it is that we are doing. So, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah,
How are you?
afternoon.
How you doing?
Happy to be here.
Good, good. Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to kind of join us today. And we want to kind of get into what it is you guys are really about. So, I want to start with you then, Mr. Smalls, and talk about, give us a little bit of background about who you are and how you got into this industry.
Okay, first to begin with, I hail from Jamaica, West Indies. Mm-hmm. And from a background standpoint, let's start with the educational area. I went to a technical school back in Jamaica, and that was way back in the past. And after finishing technical school, I went on to college. And my studies were mostly technical. After finishing college, I went on to do a little bit of teaching at a few high schools. And after teaching for the first year, I said, you know what, I don't think this is the area I should be in. I was told earlier at high school that I should go into programming, because at the time I used to love mathematics, and it was said that if you like math, you should go into programming. So I enrolled into University of West Indies into a computer program for 4 years, and I graduated in, '86 with a degree in computer science.
All right.
And after that, I went on to work in the field for a few years, and then I went into the country area and started my own business, offering computer services. Yeah. That I did for about 10 years, and during that time I used to travel back and forth between Jamaica and Miami, because I was more in the hardware business at the time. I see. Okay. Making computers and providing some kind of software support to companies. After that, the economic situation got not too good sometime in the 90s.
We all know that.
I was forced to migrate at the time because, and what really caused it to happen is, I remember I put an ad in the papers, which was the Gleaner at the time, and I got some very big orders from, I remember from the Prime Minister's sister, and some very good orders. And I came up to Miami, made a purchase, went back, and there was a guy at Custom who was doing the clearance, and he got sick and went home in the middle of the process. And I went back like for 2 weeks trying to get my stuff, and I couldn't get it. Because I said, nobody's going to touch it because maybe something hanky-panky was going on or whatever it was. Yeah. So I got frustrated, and the following month I think I booked a flight, and I was out. Yes. So I came to the States. I worked for 2 years with a company doing programming. And before that, I was not into web design. I was more into regular programming, as I said before, and hardware-related stuff. So I got into programming during those 2 years, and I started to build websites. And in 2000, which was 12 years ago, before Facebook, because Facebook is about 8 years old, I started a website called Jamaican Affairs. And the idea was to get all the high schools together, and the alumni and everybody, so they could communicate and have this kind of experience. So I started that, and I did it for a few years. And because of my job situation, I wasn't, able to put enough time into it. So I took a break, and 2005, I went back more into it. And I said to myself, I don't think it should be Jamaican Affairs. It should be Caribbean. And hence I registered the Caribbean Network.
Okay.
So that's where the Caribbean Network got started.
Okay, interesting. Mr. Patterson, give us a little bit about your background.
Wow, where did I start? Anyway, left Jamaica in '71. So I've been here quite a long time. Attended junior high school in the States, and went on to Polytechnic University, which is now affiliated with NYU. I studied engineering, electrical engineering background. After graduating, I started working for ITT. So I got immersed into the telecommunications industry, and worked for companies like ITT, AT&T, IBM, SIAC. Did a few stints with facility engineering as well.
All right.
And 10 years or so ago, got laid off with Global Crossing when a lot of hanky-panky was going on with the companies in the telecommunications industry, and it went belly up. And I decided to go into real estate. So I've been, in the real estate area for a little while, as well as facility engineering, applying my skills and trade. And I now rent houses. Things are not going too well right now because of the
tough market,
market crashing and so forth. So
Sure.
I've always had an entrepreneurial, interest. And I met Winston through a group that we formed several years back before they started the construction downtown Brooklyn, Metrotech.
Sure.
That was an idea brought out by Dr. Brugurillo at Polytechnic.
Okay.
And as you know, they've pumped billions of dollars. There's a lot of new structures out there now and so forth. I brought in a few people together to receive or have them apply for the jobs that would come over from Manhattan. And that's how I started getting involved in terms of building companies with people. Moving on from there, I was part of a group where I met Winston. I had some good friends who had the ideas of the internet in their head. That was when the internet started. They were light years ahead of a lot of the companies that you see nowadays. Our principal literally had a vision. And I brought two of my good friends along as well. And we did that for a little while, and then I stepped back from that. That's really where I met Winston. And I found that we both think alike. I guess it's because we both have engineering background, and we approach things from a logical standpoint. I felt I could always work with him because he was very personable. If he said he would get something done, he would get it done. I find out I can trust him with whatever he said he was going to get done. So
that's very interesting, because that's really kind of just that's the seed for collaboration is obviously having a service that's complementary to someone else, and that whole trust factor, which kind of makes the collaboration work, which is very much like the Avatar Foundation and Alpha We also found that we had so much in common in terms of our mission, and what our purpose and our philosophies were. So found it to be a very, very good mix, and thus becomes this Carat of Gold. But kind of taking this history that you both have from two kind of different perspectives, both kind of Caribbean based in a way, but you kind of grew up in the States and you kind of grew up outside the States and worked your way into the States. So that's kind of where we are with some of our purpose too, is the integration from one culture to another, and how we begin to embrace that other culture and begin to utilize our skills and services in taking advantage, or whatever advantages may be, in that integration of these cultures. So with that, now we've created, what's the product?
The first, overall, the product is marketing. Because when I started on the Caribbean Network, I got to realize quickly that there were a lot of organizations out there supporting the Caribbean, Jamaica at the time, because I was working with the Jamaican community. And personally, I didn't know a lot of these organizations. And I was like, oh my God. Even one for the University of the West Indies, which I attended, I didn't know it existed. And it was pretty, vibrant within the community. So I said to myself, one of the goals of this organization is to help to promote these organizations. For example, when there's an event taking place, it's hard to get it out to people who attend the event.
Right.
So what I did, I set up what is called an e-blast system. That system now is being used by the Consul General of for Jamaica to blast events out to thousands of people. And while doing that blast, I would get some very personal emails from people like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that it exists, and thank you so much, because if it wasn't for you, we would know about these events." And so as a result, that was one product that I worked on, and perfected.
Okay.
And right now we can blast any event out to thousands of people, not only within the tri-state area, but all over the world. So that's one. We also have the services where we can also highlight projects, because most of these organizations will have projects going on.
Right.
Even the high schools back home, they may have projects. They're trying to build a tank or whatever the project is, and they're looking for donations or some kind of funding. So we also help organizations to get this kind of publicity, so they can get the necessary help that they need. And also with a web background, that's also one service that I offer, that we offer to our clients, our visitors, where we can create websites.
All right.
Because we find that a lot of organizations and even companies, for profit, they need a website, and they're totally confused what to do next. So, and they don't want to go to the wrong person. So we make it easy for them to come to us, and we can guide them.
Right. That's good to know, because
themselves on the web.
Yeah, because I know when we were looking at a website, and I think we took the same steps that most people take. And that's going to some friends.
Of course.
Our brother.
Personal friends, and say, boy, I see what you do with this, and everyone says that they can do this.
Right.
And 2 years later, I said, well, this is not going to work. Right. So I had to go to someone like yourselves, a business who's in the business of designing and hosting and doing those kinds of things. Essential to maintaining, developing and maintaining a website. So it's very good to hear that you're in that business, because then there weren't or aren't that many people of color that are really kind of proficient in this industry. And to most of us, particularly people like myself who are lay people, not really technicians, the whole kind of mystique and intrigue in the IT industry, you know. So just give us some of the quick benefits of, you started to speak about that, about website designs and some of the features that go into that.
I mean, the benefit is, take for example, e-commerce. In the past, it was brick and mortar. If you want to get something, buy something, you have to go to a store to buy it. Now you can pretty much purchase anything online, most things. So we provide a service where, we provide the e-commerce capabilities on websites where people can purchase stuff, people can purchase services online. So that's one of the services. Another one is media services. Right now, it is said that video is it, meaning that our people, most people maybe don't like to read. Our reading intake is too time consuming. You have to read like 10 pages sometimes to get 1 page of information. But with a video, it can be compressed and edited and whatever and give the message in a few minutes or a few seconds sometimes. So we're using...
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes, it's a lot more friendlier having someone,
Yes.
actually see something than just sitting down explaining or reading from a book what it's about.
All right,
you
so
can see
it's
for
real
yourself.
clear in the definitions
Exactly.
of what it is that the subject is. You can see it
Exactly.
here. Okay, yeah.
And in the past, to get these kind of services out, it was very expensive. But with the intervention, if you want to call it invention of internet, then it becomes very inexpensive. Now it's a level play field, which means that anybody, a guy in a basement, could put something out on the internet, and it's comparable to Coke or whichever big companies out there.
Right. Okay.
So now it's very affordable for us to use the technology that is available. So I would say media is one, the web, the e-commerce is another, and back to marketing. That's sort of the big thing, because everything sort of comes under marketing.
Right.
To get the word out, to get the product out, to get my vision, to get the branding, whatever it is, it's all under marketing.
Yeah.
Now, has that taken us into the area of Caribbean Network? The ability to host different programs. Give us some direction in terms of where this company is going.
There's one project that we're working on right now, which is almost completion. It's a school project, because when we started Jamaican Affairs, we started with the school. So we have pretty much all the schools in our database and all the information we need. So right now we are developing a package or a service where the school is going to have their own internet, learning platform.
Right.
E-learning, which is very big right now.
E-learning.
Right.
Okay.
And the company I'm aligned with, they're the one who produce MIT, Cornell, all the big universities. So I'm aligned with a very strong company. Okay? So eventually what we like to see is all the schools in the Caribbean have some kind of presence either on the internet or within this e-learning platform. Right now I'm talking to a few professors who are in the teaching area.
Yeah.
I know my background is teaching when I started out, so
Right.
I sort of understand that kind of sort of
It's
business.
interesting that you say that, because there's a project that we have been looking at in Westchester County that we're hoping down the road to be able to develop.
Right.
And it's really kind of an auditorium kind of a thing, so live performing arts can happen. But one of the goals that we were looking at was how to get consistent use of the space.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're in the real estate thing, so things have to be occupied and things have to be happening and generating
Synchronized.
revenue and things, so a building is alive. And we were looking at the whole area of distant learning, so that it's kind of what you're speaking about,
Right.
from e-learning to what in our vernacular we were calling distant learning.
Right.
So there was that ability to be able to plug in to one institution that was very successful in its teaching models,
Right.
and be able to telecast that to another institution, so students can see student to student, and it could be teacher to teacher to understand that methodology.
Yeah.
Right.
Of
Ca-
Go ahead,
Case in
yeah.
point, as a matter of fact, I just read an article about the absence of a master's level program on the continent of Africa, and the role that China is playing in terms of getting a university over there. I
Right.
know the Americans play a role in that, but we also have institutions in the Caribbean that, where you can get a degree, undergraduate degree.
Yes.
We can check on, schools here that have programs on a master's level as well. And another area of business, it might be something new, but yes, you can utilize those spaces that you're talking about. Bring professors in there, or develop some type of curriculum where you actually have some kind of offering to people
Right.
who are missing that level of education. They don't necessarily have to get on a plane, spend $35,000 or so to
Right.
come to either the United States or go to China to learn something.
Right.
We have those resources. So it's a matter of us kind of like rethinking what
Right.
we currently have and how we can make a business out of it, or how we can utilize some strengths that we have
Technology too, right.
and technology to, move ahead.
That's excellent because that's something we like to kind of continue this conversation with you
Right.
from our side, particularly in terms of the kind of message we're trying to get out to people, and that's in that form of nature. And so, in terms of marketing, and in terms of being able to make this network successful, what are some of the steps you're taking to make people aware of who you are and how they can get involved with you? If there's a website that you have or a telephone number, and we'll come back to it again as well, but put it out there. You have a website that people can come to and get some basic information, or a telephone number?
Yes, there are multiple websites. I'll just give the main ones. For the Caribbean Network, we have CariNet, that is CARINET.org,
Okay.
and also .tv. Anyone, both the same. We also have Hands-On TV, HANDSON TV.com. And
Okay.
I didn't touch on this one, but we also have a religious network. We're also working with the churches very closely. Actually,
Okay.
I've been doing that for quite a number of years now.
Okay.
So that website is Religious Affairs.
Uh-huh. Religious Affairs?
You're right.
Okay.
.org. That's
.org.
RELIGIOUS AFFAIRS.org.
Okay. Okay.
My
And both of you
main-
guys can be reached at the same set of emails
Yes.
or websites? Okay.
And our main telephone number is 718-255-5806.
Kind of say that again so folks, if they
Sorry,
hear
I'm
it,
sorry.
they want to. No, because people hear it, and so I want that number. You got to
Okay.
get a pencil,
That is 718-255-5806.
Yes. Right. All right, there you go. See, so
Okay.
so folks, when you are looking at this show and you're hearing things of interest, you now know how to reach these two brothers here. They have a wealth of knowledge and experience behind them in terms of being able to develop, present, and maintain these different kinds of programs. We're going to kind of wind our show down a little bit because I think that what you have going for you is a tremendous entree into this industry, this IT industry, in
Right.
terms of creation of a network. Everyone has, guys like myself, we barely have a website.
It's whatever, Facebook.
We got to Facebook and Twitter. We're
tweet.
learning that, and we learn how to tweet, and we're doing that kind of thing. But the real kind of message that I'm hearing out of this discussion is particularly those who have businesses or those that have major projects,
Right.
is the best utilization of the internet. And being able to tap the resources and experience of an organization like this to be able to further, their particular goals and their objectives going forward. Well, I want to kind of thank you guys. We're kind of running out of time. It goes by kind of quick.
It's quick.
when you have a lot of information
Right.
to share, valuable information to share, the time goes by relatively quick. And I just want to kind of speak to our listening and viewing audience in terms of what it is that we're doing, and we're certainly looking to speak with these gentlemen and collaborate if there's some ways that we can work with them in terms of our goals and objectives and getting our word out about Carib Gold, about the whole kind of art and culture industry that's coming from a very vibrant part of the world called the Caribbean Basin. And we're featuring, or highlighting, I should say, in this case, the countries of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, because they, among all the other countries in the Caribbean Basin, are experiencing their 50th year of independence. We may not feel that how important that really is because we are from a country that's been independent.
Right.
But when you begin to look at the influx of people who are coming from different environments, you know, there's a whole real significant value about what independence means. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
so look forward for our programs that come on each week. We are both on the Verizon network and the Cable Vision network, as well as Time Warner networks. So for Time Warner, we're on a Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And for the Cable Vision and Verizon, we're on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. And both of those times are p.m.s. So that if you miss us on Thursday, you'll be able to see us by noon on Friday. So there's plenty of opportunities to see this show and see what it is that we're about. We want you to have a heads up because we will be making major announcements about this year-long initiative that Afui Culture Organization and the Avatar Culture Organization has put together in celebration of this fantastic opportunity. So again, look for us on radio, or listen to us on radio, as we are on every second and fourth Fridays from noon to 1 p.m. on WVOX, and you can tap into us at WVOX AM 1460 on your dial, or just tap in WVOX.com and see us live as we're broadcasting. So as we sign off, we want to be able to speak about our motto, meaning the dream is in the mind of the believer and in the hands of the doer. And you're not given that dream without being given the power to make it happen. So for now, we want to thank our guests. Thank you, Winston. Thank you very much, Horace,
Thank you.
for coming on and sharing with me and our general public. And thank all of you, and have a very good weekend. Stay well. Peace.